to. Right now we're currently headed up the road, or should I say down the road, over to the coast. We found us a little 5-horse Tohatsu on sale on Marketplace, and we're headed up the road to go pick that up. Boat's coming along nicely. All my decks came in, so it's time to put the templates on top of the decks and get those cut out, and then we're ready to start fiberglassing.
Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
So we picked up the new motor, as y'all can see, and I'm definitely on the ring camera right now, so my girlfriend can watch this. She's working on my YouTube video. Anyways, we got a bunch of stuff in drain plugs for hatches to come out of the pieces. We picked up a 10-foot piece of 3/4 inch conduit the other day to run wires the length of the boat. And now we've had our hatches come in. This is one of the smaller ones. So each deck is gonna get one of these. And then I don't have the larger one out here, but it's for size comparison. This is a smaller hatch, this is a bigger hatch. Each one's gonna get one of the big ones, one of the smaller ones, and working on getting that cut out today, as well as the drain plug holes on the front of the hatches, as well as the front facing boards. The conduit's gonna run from either side to either side, and so we gotta get that cut out. So you may be wondering why this board is here, which is this is the brace. This is the cutout for the brace that's gonna run the length of this back deck. But we're using it and lining it up, square dead nuts, to see where it's gonna be sitting, so where the hatch needs to fit. And so we're gonna get this one all measured up, traced out, as well as the front one, and then we'll cut it out. Pretty self-explanatory. Time for the front deck. Everything drawn up. These are sitting right exactly where they will be. Obviously they're not cut out yet, but freaking perfect. This is a front deck. Probably could have used a smaller hatch up front, but honestly, I like having room to be able to reach in and grab stuff. So everything's looking perfect. Now we just gotta cut it out. Front deck, back deck. Here's the back deck, mocked up, obviously. We've got the back hatch, front hatch cut out, put in, as well as a cup holder. You know, you're riding down the damn creek early in the morning, you're gonna be drinking coffee or whatever. Had to have a couple. So back deck's done, and then we're gonna do the front deck, and then gotta redo the transom cut out 2 new pieces. I realized that where this sits, the motor bracket, this sits up too high, and so we need to raise the transom about 1 inch. That way when we go and tighten the motor down to the transom, it won't be hitting this, and this won't be in the way. But yeah, it's coming together pretty good so far, and pretty happy about it. All right, y'all, so we have our new transom cut out. As you can see, it'll sit higher than the old transom used to, which would be perfect. And now we're about to clean this up, get this ready. We're gonna take the angle grinder to this side rail and cut it out so we can perfectly place it in there. And then we're gonna clean up everything else with the flat disc. So, got some cleaning up to do, but after this, we're not gonna glass anything today, but we're getting this ready to glass at some point this week. And then I'm gonna put all the deck braces in and get them marked out exactly where they'll be. That way I know where to put the Bondo in order to start fiberglassing those in as well. Hopefully I'll be able to get on that this weekend. I'm not sure what the girlfriend has planned for us, so fingers crossed we might actually be able to get something done this weekend, but you never know. So we have got the drain plug hole mocked up. It came with these ridges in it, so I just bought a file set. Gonna file that down. Got the transom all mocked up, and had to do a little sanding down on the base of the transom in order to get that to seat well and actually screw in. But we're gonna lop this part off. And absolutely, after this is fiberglassed in, we're gonna cake that in 3M sealant. But we ran over to Harbor Freight, picked up some clamps, obviously, some files. We're gonna have to file those ridges out in order to be able to fit the drain plug in there. But it is coming together quickly. It's coming together, so should be fiberglassing this week. So we are about to start the fiberglass, the transom. Now, don't quote me on this just yet. Waiting to hear back from my girlfriend's father, as he is a fiberglass wizard. He actually fiberglasses boats for a living, used to manufacture boats, and now he does stuff for pretty big name companies. So we're calling him, and he's gonna let us know, and then I'll repeat what he's told me to do in the process, and also show y'all what I'm doing as I go along. Because you can watch a bunch of YouTube videos, doesn't mean that somebody's doing it right or wrong necessarily per se, but I want to, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it 100% right. And you know, I am lucky enough to have somebody that actually knows what the hell they're talking about, assisting in this process. So we're waiting for him to call back, but that is the plan today, is to crank this out. So that's the plan. This is step 1 of the fiberglass process. Can't believe I'm actually at this part, so pretty stoked. All right. So, just got off the phone with him. Here's the plan. Take your first piece. Obviously, we're gonna get rid of the sticker. Wet this thing down. Laying a piece of 1.5 ounces over the top of it. Wet that down. Lay your second piece 1.5 ounces over the top of it. Wet that down. Wet the back of the second piece. Smash that thing together. Clamp it down. And then for extra security, I've got some like 2.5 inch deck screws. We're gonna sink about 4 or 5 of these. Probably 4 and then 1 in the center, and then also keep the clamps. We're gonna let that sit overnight. As y'all can see, I've cleaned up this back glass, which isn't really too important right now, but I wanted to get this all cleaned up before I actually glass the transom in, before I, go back tomorrow and put 2 more sheets over top. And that is what the resin fiberglass will stick to. It would clean this up. Now we gotta wipe this down with acetone, get this all cleaned up. So might fill this in with Bondo. Don't really like that there. Probably gonna mix up some Bondo and fill that in with Bondo before we glass. All right, y'all, so we have gotten everything cleaned up, wiped down with acetone. So we're gonna get the glass cut out. We're gonna mix up the resin, and then y'all are just gonna watch a time lapse of me just smothering this thing all. Yep. So the previous screw holes are weeping, which is a good sign. But everything looks good. I'm slightly concerned about this. Hope it won't stick too bad, but it shouldn't be terrible. We sank a bunch of screws in there. We wanted to be extra cautious. All right, y'all. So it's middle of summer in North Carolina. I mean, it's freaking August now. And for some weird reason, the weather has decided that it wants to cool off, which I enjoy while I'm at work, but has made this fiberglass difficult. This is what is left from last night. I mean, as y'all can see, hard as a damn rock. But for some weird reason, it has wanted to have an issue with kicking off on the transom. It's tried, it's had a difficult time. It has been raining, there's been a lot of humidity in the air. But upon speaking to the man that's helping me do all this, he said, heat gun, go get a heat gun, heat this thing up, and it'll start to kick off. So went to Harbor Freight. We're just acquiring tools at this point, which, you know, it's costing us a little bit more than what we had hoped. We are still going to do a cost breakdown at the end of all this, but at least we're acquiring tools. It's not something that'll get thrown away, and it'll probably come in handy at some point or another. So we're going to see if this heat gun will do the trick. It should. So that worked like a freaking charm. So we're gonna get everything sanded up, cleaned up. You get everything prepped for the next step of the transom. All right, so we've gotten everything cleaned up. We cut a little bit of this railing off a little bit more, but we sanded and rounded up the transom, got it all cleaned up as best we could. Now we're gonna mix up some Bondo and fill in those cracks and edges going down the side of the transom. And as soon as we do that, we're gonna let the Bondo dry, and then should be ready to glass the rest of the way in. Oh, it is raining, so y'all are gonna have to bear with me. This weather was not supposed to come in today, but transom is ready to go. Bondo's all in there, as y'all can see. Sanded up, cleaned up, and we're ready to do. We're gonna do 1.5 ounces chop strand, and then we're gonna go around the corners with this. I forget what this is called. I'll find out the name for y'all, but it's about 6 inches. We're gonna cut it in half. Lay it over long ways like that, and then do our corners, our radiuses. So we're gonna get this nice and mixed up and start smothering it. All right, y'all, don't mind the hair and the crazy fit. Just got out of the shower. We are itching. I have failed to mention, this is a very itchy process. I mean, awful. But regardless, the transom is all finished. We're just waiting for this thing to set up and be able to trim off this excess. And then once it completely dries, we will sand this thing all the way down. We are very, very happy with how this has turned out. This thing is solid, especially with only a 5 little horse on the back side of this thing. This thing is going to be stable as hell. So this is going to conclude part 2 of this series, and the next one will be glassing in the braces into the boat, as well as the decks. That'll be next. And yeah, appreciate y'all watching. All of y'all, please like, comment, subscribe. It's free. It's literally free, and it would help tremendously.